What's up, everybody? How we doing tonight? Good. So, tonight I want to talk about leading rather than pushing. I just got off a call with my members, and I ended the call with saying, "Don't push, just lead." And I really felt like I wanted to continue on with that, and just share this piece with all of you. I found one of the hardest pieces of being in the fitness profession for 15 plus years, and just in the health profession, and just knowing all the things that I know. It becomes hard. You can't unknow that stuff, right? And if any of you have, started to dabble with health or improve your own health, or just really get to a place where you feel really good from a health perspective, and then you start thinking about the ones that you love. Most of the times that's what happens to people. I know that's what happened to me, where you start thinking about the people that you love the most, and you start thinking about, how awesome it would be if they could be healthy too. And you really want it badly for them. And sometimes when we want something more for somebody than they want it for themselves, it doesn't work like that. It won't work. Any of you that have children know exactly what I'm talking about. You try to push, if you push your kids to do things like eat things they don't want to eat, or drink things they don't want to drink, or do exercise they don't want to do, right? If you push kids to do those things, you get pushback. It's just what happens. It's just what happens. And adults are the same way. Like, you'll get pushback from adults as well. So, it's very tricky. Like, when you love somebody, you want the best for them. You want them to feel, good. You want them to feel healthy. And a lot of times, if you're healthy and you're on a health journey, you want them to feel like you feel. And yet, you still can't push that on them. You can't do it, because that makes it worse. You can't get somebody to do something that they don't want to do. And I'll say this. This is a really big key point to this whole puzzle, is people will only do something to improve their situation when their pain has gotten bad enough. When it's gotten bad enough to push them over the edge, to get them to take that next step. It has to get to, they have to hit their rock bottom. It's unfortunate, but that's just the fact of the matter. It has to be something that is when they hit that rock bottom. And most of the people I work with, they come to me when it's at the end, right? There's no more down after that. They're like, I literally can't go any further. And those are the people that jump in and take the leap. If they could jump in halfway to that point, life would be a lot easier. And it's not how it works. It's just not. Sometimes it is. I'd say about one in 10 people that I serve comes in at like that halfway point, where they're not really at their rock bottom, but it's very rare, guys. It's like a unicorn. It's very rare. So the biggest key here, folks, hi Laura, the biggest key here is don't push. Love unconditionally, and try to demonstrate through yourself the way it could be for those people that you love. Demonstrate through yourself the way it could be, because it's amazing what happens is when people start getting around other people that are heading towards a healthier lifestyle. Like when you start surrounding yourself with people that are of, say, a higher vibration, or like a healthier way of living and being, then you're going to raise your standards just being around them. So I find that when you want other people to raise their standards, you have to raise your standard first. You have to be the one to lead. And it's hard sometimes. Actually, it's hard a lot of the time, folks. It just is. I wish I could tell you this was easy. It's the mind. The mind plays games with us. The mind is the one that's holding us back and fooling us into believing that things are either better than they are or they're worse than they are, right? We usually don't see things how they really are until we start practicing and working on that consciousness level of seeing things that way, right? So the same thing goes for health. Is people come at, we all are living in our own paradigm, right? The way that we perceive the world. That's what we do. And my paradigm is different than your paradigm, and your paradigm is different than the next person's, and so on and so forth. And the people that we love being around, we tend to have similar paradigms. We tend to have similar perceptions, right? And way of seeing things. That's why those are our friends. And that is why a lot of times unhealthy people will be friends with unhealthy people. And healthy people tend to be friends with healthy people. And then there's the middle people, right? The sheepdogs. That's where I live. Like I honestly have more people around me that, because it's my profession to help people get healthier, a lot of times I'll have people that are very unhealthy around me. But the beautiful part is they've made that shift in their own paradigm and their perception to want to be better than they were before. And one of the biggest things is letting them know, and this is why I say lead with love, is letting them know that they're enough right now. Like every single person that I talk to, and anybody that watches this video, you have to know that you're enough. And I also really let other people know that, like, the first couple weeks of my program, I let them know, like, it's really not your fault. It really isn't. Because the world makes nutrition so freaking difficult to understand. And the food industry makes it so difficult to understand and to know what's right or what's not helping us, or what's healthy and what's not, and what's up and what's down, and they make it so hard. They really do. And this is coming from somebody that reads studies all the time and studies nutrition and all of these things. And it wasn't until I just, spent a good 15 years in here that I came to the realization, based off science and evolution, where we really need to be. And the average person is not going to spend the time and or has the time and or wants to do that. So I want you to hear that again. You are enough. Right now, you are enough. And it's not your fault. It's frustrating to be in your shoes when you're unhealthy. It's freaking frustrating. Because especially those of you that have tried a bunch of things, tried so many different programs and just nothing works. Nothing worked. And that is why, one of the main reasons I shut my gym down is because I realized that a lot of physical change starts with mental change. It starts with the mindset piece. That's the first piece of the puzzle that we need to get starting to fit into place. Because when we change that paradigm and their perception, like I was talking about, that's when everything else starts to shift. And that's when long-term shifts happen, because once you know something and you consciously and unconsciously absorb it, and it becomes part of your belief system and your patterns and your habits, you can't undo that. It becomes part of your identity. And then it's something we can't undo. It's a beautiful thing. And that's where we would love to get some of the people in our lives, and they just may not be there right now. Don't give up on them. Just keep leading. Just keep being that shining force, that light for them. Because sometimes they just need a light. And I'll say this, you can't pull someone out of a hole unless you're standing at the top. So you got to be up at the top to pull them up out of it. But you don't want to be giving them a lecture while they're in the hole. That doesn't help anybody. It really doesn't. And it just makes them feel bad. And like I said, it's not their fault. It's nobody's fault. So believe in yourselves, guys. Believe that it's possible, not just for you, but for people that you're trying to bring along with you in this health journey. I work a lot with couples, and it's awesome to see them do it together. And I find that there's some people that they do it on their own and they wish their significant other was going to come with them, but it's just not their time. It's not their time. And the best way you can help them is lead. Lead by example. Lead with love, and with time, they will follow. Have an awesome night.